Hey, this is Attila, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutioners. Let's go. Okay. Today we're gonna talk about Three Idiots, and we're gonna talk about what this movie is able to educate on. And for me, this is like one of the most incredible movies I ever watched in my life. And it's a Bollywood movie. And a few years ago I would have never said that ever. And I'm now actually saying this. I watched it recently again, and it's like such a beautiful, strong, fantastic movie that I really want to talk about. Three Idiots is an Indian movie from 2009, produced and acted in is Amir Khan, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but he's known for being the perfectionist in India. So normally in India you do like a lot of movies at the same time, but he always did like just one every 2 years. So he was like someone who really prepared a lot into his role, and you can see this in a lot of his acting, and you can see it in a lot of his movies. And he opened up a little bit for me to see Bollywood not as this kind of dancey event, fun kind of thing, but like actually a place where serious storytelling is taking place. And one of these fantastic, really strong movies is Three Idiots. And why is Three Idiots so strong? Three Idiots is about a Royal Academy of Engineering, where three people come in that have a very interesting specifics about them. And we will call them Three Idiots because the movie does that. But I don't really think they have a lot of idiotic behavior or ways around them. They're kind of goofy and very fun and very cute, but I think that's the only idiot thing about them. They're like a group who really doesn't belong there or absolutely belongs there. It's a weird way to talk about it. I actually don't want to spoil because this movie is so full of beautiful moments that I don't want to spoil. But what I can say is that this movie is about the stress that students have in India, and that this movie is about the stress that they don't only have from university but also from their parents. That their parents sacrifice a lot of their money, about their free time. Maybe like the air conditioner is only in the place of one of their children's rooms so that the children can actually learn. Like that they invest a lot of stuff in their sons so that they can become great in their future. And that this movie is like so strongly written. There's so many like metaphors and whatever implanted in this movie, like in the way they talk and in what they say. And it's a movie with a real big eye opener, also about myself, where I thought about how was I educated from my parents and from my school. And I think I can go away from the school kind of thing because I don't want to share about that too much. But I want to talk a little bit about how do I think we should be educated. And actually, I asked my mother. So I was like, hey, Mom, what's up? I'm going to do an episode about education, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about how you did that, But I didn't prepare that. I was actually just, calling her, talking about something else, and then I was like, okay, I'm working on this. And then I was like asking her the questions. And it was really crazy. Like, she actually gave me a poem, and I will read the poem in a few minutes. But the basic question I asked her is that do you think I'm obliged to do things in a certain way? Like, do you think you are obliged to your father and your mother to do certain things because they raised you? Do you owe them something? Do I owe you something for what you have done for me, that you have educated, that you have brought me into life, that you have, like, I don't know, that I learned so much from you? Is this kind of a way to, like, redeem myself, or do I have to redeem myself? Do you have to redeem yourself to your parents? So yeah, and funny thing, she gave me a poem, and we talked a little bit about it. And so now I want to give you the poem. The poem is from Khalil Gibran. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but let's go further. And the poem is called On Children. And I will not read all of it, but the part I think was really, really interesting. Okay, but it starts from the top. On children. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you yet, they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but not seek to make them like you. And yeah, that's the poem. And basically it opens up a lot of thoughts that my mom has over education. So I want to sum up a little bit what she thinks, because for me it was very interesting to listen to that, and then I will talk a little bit about my vision of that. But in a way, she bases education of love is unconditional, and so you cannot expect somebody to give you back something that is unconditional. And so you raise your children because you love them, and you don't love them because they're your children. You love them because you love them. And it's a very romantic form of it, and I am very happy that my mom is like that. But so it's also a very theoretical way of thinking about it, because obviously in some way you still expect something even if you don't want to expect something. This is like being jealous, but you don't want to be jealous because you want your better half to be free to do what he or she wants, or they want from themselves and for themselves. So you don't want to be jealous about something that you shouldn't be jealous about, but you still are. And so this is like a theoretical way of thinking about it, and a very beautiful one. It says, give them a home, but for their bodies, not for their souls. So let them be free and prosper on their own. Build them a ground on which they can stand on, but not all the things they're composed of, and yeah, I think it's a very beautiful way, and a way that corresponds with the movie a lot. The movie is making a bridge between education and training. So you can train a seal to move a certain way and to perfectionize this. Education is going further. Education is make people want to learn, and people like come up with new ideas. People think on their own. And this is like the difference between training and education. And I was in university, and I kind of, saw that as well, that this is like, I thought this is now the place where everybody can think by themselves and everybody's highly educated and really cool, and we will like talk about all this educated shit, whatever. But no, it's not. A lot of people have been trained to be there, have not their own motivation to be at this place where they are right now, but have been like pushed all the time. And so they're not really interested in the place where they are right now. They're interested in the paper that they can have afterwards, so that they can have a good job, a lot of money, and a beautiful wife, how the movie would phrase it. And that's kind of the same thing that I experienced. And I'm happy that this is like not how my parents raised me, or how my parents believe they didn't raise me, but at least it's also my experience. I had a lot of fun learning stuff. And I was always like kind of, it's like this kind of nerdy child that was like, oh, that's so cool. This is where this word is coming from. Or how this is so cool. Like this is like the two chemics that functionate together, and the oxidation. And, like then this part of the molecule is changing. And I was like, yeah, this like so interesting. And I was, and it was true. I was really interested in learning stuff, because what I believe is the reason for that is how my parents raised me. They were like, okay, why is something? And then they were kind of talking to me so that I can improve in thinking about something. And I loved it. And that's why I loved learning something. But I also really didn't like a lot of teachers. Because, I don't know, it's complicated relationships. I had really cool teachers that really loved me, and really teachers that didn't like me. But if you love learning, then I don't know, school and university is kind of such a fun place, especially if you then find people who are the same way about that. And kind of where this is like this, the education that your parents give you is kind of the ground where then you go at some point in school, and then you go further. But both of this is implanted in you. Like I cannot say that I learned a lot from both parts of my education, like my parents and my school, and I most certainly will never unlearn what I learned from them. And so it's very important that this is like kind of a cool, interesting base that I get from them. And I hope I did. And I think this is kind of why this movie is so important, because I think it's not always that you have a certain way of selflessness in your parents and in your university. And there's a way this movie is talking about it. This is making like for all kind of sense. It made for me sense with my kind of parents. And I think with the people I watched it, it made for them sense with their kind of parents that they had. So it kind of shows you that even if your parents kind of want you to be excellent in the field that they chose for you, they do want you to be happy. And in some way this is not fitting. Sometimes what your parents want is not where you actually can be excellent in. And then you have to make this clear for them, and try to go into something that actually is fun for you. And that's why like I talk with my mom a lot, and this part about the fun came last, because we talked so much in education. And then she said, yeah, but you don't only give education, but you also give them, like fun. And I was like, fun? You give us fun. Like, this is what you give your children. And she said, yeah, you kind of give them like a lot of time where they don't have to care about certain stuff, so that they can be happy and can learn what happiness is. And so they can like even have that later on, and maybe give them to their children as well. And I was like, kind of like this idea. I kind of like fun, and I kind of like to, yeah, I love to learn, and I love to kind of be where I was and where I was going to. And yeah, I really think education should also be fun and feel good. And that's why yeah, I wanted to make this episode, because this is kind of something that is very important to me, and it's very important to the movie, and it is shown in really fantastic pictures. And if you don't like Bollywood movies, I reassure you, it's like still fantastic even if you don't like Bollywood movies. So I hope I could motivate you to watch this beautiful, magnificent piece of art. And now I say goodbye, and I hope I see you another time for the next episode. And so far, so good. Stay tuned. See you next time. Bye.